Good morning. It is Saturday, June 4th, 2016. Where does the time go? And unfortunately, the time has gone for Mr. Muhammad Ali, formerly known as Cassius Clay. Where to begin with him? My goodness. When I started putting these little videos together a few years ago, I wasn't sure what first of all, I thought it would be just like one of those one and done deals, but so I always have to make it about me. But I got the idea, as I did a few that I would try to make these like kind of a time capsule of my life and the icons and whatnot that passed away. Little did I know, I mean, it just seems like every few weeks I'm doing another one of these deals, but I think it's good for prosperity to have all this stuff. Just my viewpoints on these people that were again just larger than life, and whether they be musicians or sports stars or in Muhammad Ali's case, I mean probably um, uh, right up there with Martin Luther King and I don't know, Jesus Christ, who of people that just had this phenomenal influence over the world and just literally just amazing, just of this of this stratosphere, but just on a whole different level. Muhammad Ali was, that's for sure. I remember him as a kid, and I do have this little this cassette from when I'm like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm doing an impression of Muhammad Ali talking to Howard Cosell, and I know it's in a box somewhere. It's pretty funny. It's not like this with video, but it's a cassette, and it's pretty spot on, especially the Howard Cosell part of it. And but I just remember as a kid that how cool it was because they would always have the fights on Saturday afternoons, and even like if there was a big fight, Muhammad Ali, on a Friday night or whatever, and growing up with that stuff, and just how great boxing was, even back the late 70s when I first started, watching the fights, and how Cosell was, with that voice, and kind of a cross between like Fran Drescher and I don't know, just very distinct. You definitely had that New York, state of mind type of deal with it. But and him and Ali with that great chemistry they had going back and forth, and you know, again, I mean, and that was just his. Uh, Going off on a Howard Cosell tangent here, but with Ali, I mean, his boxing career was just a small portion of what he was about, and standing up for his rights and the rights of so many African Americans, and just telling people to stand up for what you believe in, and and that works with any race, stand up for yourself, and the whole thing, the whole deal there with Vietnam, and I don't know, all that stuff is before my time, but what he took a whole lot of guts, and just just standing up for what he believed in, and going to jail for it, that's the ultimate sacrifice right there. And and always coming back, and in his fights, and never giving up, and ultimately his will not to go down, I think, and not to give up, especially his last few fights, which happens to so many boxers. Your brain can only take so much. It wasn't meant to be hit. Your body wasn't meant to be hit in the head at all. And whether it's boxing, football, hockey, or whatever, and we as sports fans take almost like a sadistic pleasure in this stuff, and and that goes back to feeding the Christians to the lions. Back, what was that, about 50 years ago? Oh, thousands of years ago. But, it's just, it is what it is, and sports is what it is. And I'm sure, he would be the first to say that it was all worth it. I don't think any sort of damage that you have to deal with long term for your whole life is worth anything. But in his case, you can't stop a person from doing what they love, and he loved boxing, and it's just a shame, what happened, the last 30 years, but being the fighter that he is, he never gave up, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I think I'm going off on where I wanted to go with this, and just say, what an incredible legacy he left, and everything that he fought for was just amazing. And I the version that I saw of him were the fights that he had against, I guess, Leon Spinks. I remember that night. That's how old I am, when he fought him. The time that Spinks upset him, and then of course he came back and beat Spinks, and then Leon. There's a video. There's the next video. Leon Spinks. with the, and no teeth. But those were some great fights, and like I say, what I do remember the most about him is the byplay between him and Cosell. I missed all the Thriller Manila stuff, but I love to watch, the YouTube, documentaries on all those deals, which is great. That's why I love YouTube, and now I'm on YouTube, so we've come full circle with this stuff. But again, we can choose what we want to make of our lives, to a certain extent, and boy, did he take it to a great extent. My goodness gracious. And a lot of what you do with your life is based on the circumstances, of course, too, and his circumstances coming from nothing and becoming, one of the great, there's his nickname, the greatest. I'll just say, rest in peace to the greatest human of all time, Muhammad Ali. You were the greatest, no doubt about that. Down goes Fraser, but certainly up goes Ali, up to heaven. You were the greatest. Have a great life in the afterworlds. Say hi to Prince. Adios.